Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Design System Masterclass. In the previous class, we discussed about badges. We have created badges with typography and color variables so that we can easily switch between dark and light mode. We have created small and default size badges and overstayed badges. So in this video, we will be discussing something about buttons. We will be creating buttons, small and default buttons. Uh, we will be creating icon only buttons. We will be creating small and default buttons. For each button, we will be creating default state, overstate, pressed state, and disabled state. We'll be creating primary, secondary, and tertiary buttons. So yeah, before creating those buttons, we will see some examples where the buttons are used. Buttons are used when there is a trigger or action taken by the user. So in this example, this is a primary button and this is a tertiary button. Let me take this. So this is a primary button and this is tertiary button. And in this example, these all are icon only buttons. And this example, this Airbnb example, reserve is a primary button. And this top share and favorite buttons are icon only secondary buttons. Right? So now let's list out what type of buttons we need to create. The first one is primary. Let's enlarge it. Primary, secondary, and tertiary. So for each button, we need to create default state and overstate, pressed state, and disabled state. Right? For each button, we need to create these. So secondary, we need to create this, tertiary. And for primary, secondary, and tertiary, we need to create these primary, secondary, tertiary for icon only also. Right? So these all we need to create. So let's take text, let's add it as button, and let's give it a size of let's say medium 14, caption small, or let's take it caption small 14, apply auto layout, and this should be gray 0, and we need to fill it with a color with, let's say, primary 900, and let's give the padding as 8 for this, right? And let's apply the variable. Let's apply spacing 8, and let's apply spacing 60, right? And let's apply border radius 2. Let's apply 8. Yes, 8 looks good. And let's bring the icon from the badge, of the badges. Let's bring the icon here. Let's give the color as, let's say, gray 0, right? And let's also add icon right. And let's say the spacing between these are spacing 8, right? So yeah, the primary button is ready. So, and we need to create the secondary button too. So for secondary, let's give this as gray 0 and add a stroke and give this as gray 200 and give these as gray 900. Sorry, give these as gray 900. Right. The secondary button is also ready. And for tertiary, we need to remove the fill. Let's remove the radius and let's give this as gray 900 and let's give only bottom and let's decrease this to spacing 8, adding to 8 pixels. See, now the tertiary button is also ready. Now we need to create the larger versions of these. So let's say these both buttons, let's give it as 12. Let's give this as 24, right? And same 12 and let's give this as 16. 16 is too huge. Okay, it's just 12. And yeah, that is it. And let's create these are the primary uh I mean button default. These are button default. And this will be primary, secondary, tertiary, right? Same for these, primary, secondary, and tertiary, right? Now we need to create, this is button default SM and button default size. This is default size and this is small size. And let's copy these to, and let's give primary 800 as the over and gray 100 as the over. And let's remove these stroke for both for this tertiary button and use overs on it. This is overstate. Right. This is overstate. And same for these. So we need to give primary 800 and button gray 100 and just remove the stroke, right? And for active, we need to switch back to default state. You can customize it for yourself, but I want to go to default state for active state. So yeah, and for disabled, we need to decrease the opacity to let's say decrease the opacity appearance to 60, right? So that it looks like a disabled but, right? And let's create same things for icon only button. Let's copy these and let's delete these things and let's make sure they are square. Let's give it as 12 maybe or 8. Yep, 8 works so that they are square. And let's copy these And let's delete these, and let's give this as 12 and align it here. So this is icon only. This is default, right? This is default state, and default icon only default and default one, right? These labels are just for your reference. And let's copy these, and let's change it as primary 800 for overstate and gray 100 for overstate, and add a stroke here bottom, and give the stroke as gray 9, right? And do same for these. Add primary 800 and gray 200, gray 100 to the fill, and add stroke with a bottom, and give it as gray 900. And let's copy these. These are overstate. And for active, we need to copy these. Same thing for active, right? And for disable state, we need to copy these and give the appearance as 60%. 60%. So yeah, creating all the buttons, like all the variants are done. Now let's delete these. These are just for your understanding purposes. You can label it afterwards. Let's select all of them, and let's go to component, create component set. Let's fill it with gray 0. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll start adding the variants. So the first property is type, which is primary, secondary, or tertiary. And another variant is state, which is default, over, pressed, all of the stuff. And the other one is icon only, which is by default will be true or false, or we can change it later. And yeah, that is it. For these, what we can do is this icon only is true, and this icon only is false, right? And these all are primary, right? These all are type is primary, and these all are secondary. And these all are tertiary. Type is tertiary, right? And these state, these all state, and these are default. and these are hover, right? And these are pressed, and these are disabled, right? And let's say we have icon only and over, pressed, disabled. So primary, secondary, and tertiary. So I think one frame is missing. So this frame is type is primary. So we need to add another variant called size. Sorry, variant called size. Value will be small by default, and this will be these all will be default, right? So let's label it as button, and when we icon only, primary, secondary, tertiary, small, default, primary. So now the only thing balance is switching between icon right and icon left. So select all the icon left, select all of these, and go to show more properties, and here there will be apply variable. Click here and icon left. This is similar to what we have created for badges, and select all the icon right, and go to variables and icon right and create property. So now if you duplicate it, you can easily switch between icon right and icon left, size, small, default, state, over, pressed, disabled. And when you click on icon only, there will be icon only button. So now by default, let's switch off the icon left and icon right. And you can also switch between dark and light mode. Switch between dark and light mode. So every button is designed properly and assigned to the color variables so that you can easily switch between dark and light mode. So yeah, that is it for today. Hope you got some value out of this video. So do subscribe for more content like this, and see you in the next one.